I'm live, yeah. But I'm not coming to you live as a singer. I'm coming to you live as Miya the social worker. And tonight I'm going to be interviewing yet another cool dad, as I do. Our last interview is with Mr. Kevin, and tonight we have, who's that? Hey, you. Oh, okay. We got the celebrity musicians in the house. Hi, guys. Hey, Dean. Okay, so I'm going to let you in soon, Dean. But first, let me give a little introduction. So look at Cerise. Is that JoJo? All right, I'm getting distracted. So tonight, we're going to have Dean Tolbert. Dean holds a very special place in my heart, but I'm not going to give away too much. I'm going to let him introduce himself. But spoiler alert, he is a cool dad, because I've been saying that in all my posts. I've been saying he's a cool dad. Very, very cool dad, cool friends, cool musician, cool everything. Yes, I love you, Cuddy. I love you. All right, so on that note, Dean, please. Oh, wait, can I send you a request? Oh, I'm being a grandma. So we're going to have Dean come on now. And we're going to talk. Hey, look at my friend.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. You look amazing.
Thank you. As do you. As do you.
Thank you. You got the real locks, and I have the faux. But that's another conversation.
This time in the game, okay? You know, it's time in the game now.
Listen, your hair is so popping. Like, don't
Thank
even. Come on, salt and pepper. Be professional. Be professional. No, it's not. So, Dean, welcome to our CUNY Your College Fatherhood Initiative Program session tonight. I do have a theme, as I do each session. So I wanted us to talk about the myths, the dad myths, specifically regarding just absent fathers, whether it's in person or maybe they live in the home, but they're just not present, whatever the case may be. But before we go there, I want you to tell everybody who you are, what you do, when you became a father. Just to tell us a little bit about yourself, your favorite snacks, anything you want us to know.
All right. First and foremost, I think it's important to say when it comes to food, I don't do favorites. I am a true fat kid at heart. I think that food is too good. There's
fair.
so much that I have not experienced, so I'm not going to discriminate like that. So that's first that you should know about me.
Come on.
My name is Dean Tolbert. I do a lot of things. I pride myself in being a multi-hyphenate. So some of the things that Maya referenced, I fiddle around as a musician. I am a
Fiddle? I'm sorry.
I
Being modest. Continue. No. Go ahead.
Fiddle around.
Oh, it's okay.
I guess, yeah, my primary paychecks, I guess, come from workshop facilitation. I'm a trainer, large group facilitation, and then also I work in higher ed administration, so that's cool. Okay. I was a youth pastor for 5 years, and I think once you are a pastor, you never actually stop being one. So
right.
I'm very, very happy to still be kind of a spiritual voice in the lives of a lot of young people whose kind of journeys I've gotten to walk alongside. When did I become a father? Great question. Complicated question, complex question. So I think when I was in seminary, I went to Union Theological Seminary, had a classmate who found out I started pastoring after I was already in seminary.
Okay.
And he said, I'm very, very excited for you to be pastoring. He's great gift of discernment, Reverend Sekou. He said, pastoring these young people will make you a better father. And so I would say in 2007, my real practice of being a father figure began. It was true. Reverend Sekou is right. So that I think I have two daughters. One is a daughter by birth. Her name is Zuri. She was born in 2018. The other one is a daughter by choice, meaning she chose me. Her name is Acacia, and
don't get me to stop crying. You're
no,
so poetic. Your words. I'm sorry. Continue.
That is definitely not the case, or the intent. But I met her in 2012. And she was a little, around that 1-year-old age. I had the opportunity to parent her for 8 years of her life. And I'll kind of pause there. There may be pivots and places that the conversation may go.
Yeah.
But I think so. I've become a father at a number of different points in my life. Each one its own learning experience. Each one its own journey. Each one its own blessing and its own classroom. So I'll
Wow.
stop there. Yeah.
And that's, for those of you who do not know, that is how I met Dean. Right, you see that, Maury? She said, "A daughter by choice." That is beautiful. That's my other fellow social worker. Yeah, I met Dean as a pastor, and that's why you are super important to me, especially regarding this program, because you're multifaceted in the nature of fatherhood. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. And I honor fathers, I honor father figures, uncles, mentors, everything of that nature. So, hi, Maury. So I'm so glad to have you here, Dean. You have so much to share, and so many people, could learn a lot from you. But for the sake of time, let me get to my little itinerary. So, okay, this is one of my favorite questions to ask dads. How was your experience raising females? And I asked that, I know you don't have any sons, but you have experience around males. Like, as you said, you were a father figure, are a father figure.
Yeah.
I just love this question because there's something about raising a female that hits different. Please do tell.
Yeah. It's like a choose your own adventure for folks who love books. It's like a RPG for folks who rock with video games.
Is that like remember, was it Goosebumps?
So Goosebumps wasn't choose your own adventure, but everybody has had an experience with choose your own adventure, right? If you want to do this, you turn to this page and then the story ends up this way, right? And sometimes you turn to the page and you're like, nah, I don't really like the way this one ended up. So you go back to the original page. Exactly. So I think raising daughters is interesting, right? Beautiful opportunity. I think for me, it is important for my daughters to know that they have voice, that they have agency, that they are the experts of their own experience, even if they are not verbal yet and cannot necessarily articulate that. So I've never been of the mindset that, when either Zuri or Keisha was like, nah, I don't really rock with this person, I'm not like, no, you have to do this to keep up appearances or to be respectful, right? Like if this is a person or an experience or an environment that makes you feel uncomfortable, now I'm on alert, right? Now as a protector, as a father, as an advocate for a child, for a girl child or for a boy child, right? Like it is my responsibility to trust what you are saying and then have my head on a swivel to make sure that I'm not putting you in harm's way. So I think it's this interesting balance of, right, you want to promote voice and agency, and it's such a large undertaking because everything in society is trying to quiet it. So it's this Herculean like lift to push, but then you also have to pump the brakes because there are moments where the conversation about respecting me as a father or respecting your mother come into play as well. Like, yes, you have voice, yes, you have agency, but also this thing that I'm telling you, you're an expert of your own experience, but I am an expert of all of the environments you haven't walked into yet. And so when I say we can't do this, it's not to shut down your agency. It's to let you know there are dangers that you are just not aware of. And right, it's not the safe place for you to be. So I think that navigation is always weird. I think I'm of the mindset of trying to be the example of the man that I would want my daughters to end up with, right? If that's the road that they go down. And so I'm always checking myself through a number of filters of like, what feels good, what feels right to me versus how is this necessarily being like perhaps externally processed by my daughters? How are they seeing it? Is this going to be a conversation that I need to kind of follow up with them to help them understand, right? Like, so it's a lot of juggling, a lot of balancing, but I think it's, I'm somebody who likes to think a lot, and in other areas of my life, I've been told that I overthink. I don't think there's really such a thing as overthinking when you're parenting, and there's almost definitely not such a thing as overthinking when you're parenting young women. So
Right.
that was a long answer to that.
No. There was a perfect answer. And, you know, that's a very common, like, way of thinking. Look, I'm just talking about the comment when you said they might end up with a guy like you. It's so important for, you know, parents to really, really get that. Like, the kids are watching. And then as we enter the dating world, we tend to gravitate to what we know and what we feel comforted by.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying this
Yeah.
right. And I'm not saying this because you're my friend, but I would say that your daughters are lucky to have you to look up to, just because of the experience that you have. I have a personal bias to leaders. And you're not saying that all leaders are perfect and they're the best fathers or mothers, but they have so many eyes on them that they tend to live a life that's kind of like, you know, like ethical.
Sure.
And you know, and again, not everybody's perfect. I'm not saying that, so
Sure.
nobody tag me, please. But I tend to almost like despise like my friends who have parents who are like, you know, these grandiose, you know, but at the end of the day, also ain't nobody, let me say something. Okay, for y'all who don't know Dean, he's about 7'9". Okay, so not only does his baby girls, you know, have someone to look up to for themselves, but ain't nobody mess with them. I guarantee you, it's giving very much. Oh God, I'm about to take my black card. Martin Lawrence and Will Smith.
Bad boys.
Bad boys.
Yeah.
Giving very much bad boys. I'll take my black card. But anyway, thank you for that.
Sure.
Answer, Dean. Let me ask you another question. This isn't on the itinerary, but it just came to mind.